See that frost? This is what I was talking about with spring frost and protecting your trees that you keep pruned down to a height that you can manage. And there's frost all over this sheet. See that? That would have been on the blossoms. So, the sun's coming up. You gotta take this off before the sun hits them. I didn't get this one completely covered. So we'll see the ones that didn't get covered. And I can see frost on this blanket too. Or material, not a blanket. There's all the blooms, all the blossoms. Good morning, chickens. They are ready to be fed. This one, I didn't get them all. This tree's too tall. This is the one that, after this year, I'm going to prune it down in size. I know, I'll feed you guys in a minute. See the frost? Ah, my hands are numb. Look at that frost. I'm going to take these sheets in and dry them in the dryer today because it's going to get frosty again tonight. We'll bring them right back out tonight. I come with food. What are you doing, buddy? Quit pulling on this. Lord. Anybody left me an egg this morning? Nope. Come on, Chewbacca. Come on. Alright, morning chores are done. Now I gotta go to work. Hey y'all, it's Pippi, and I wanted to do another update. We are about 6.5 weeks away from our last spring frost, and at the beginning of this video you saw me uncovering plants and turning off the heater in the sunroom. It got down to 27 degrees Fahrenheit last night, so I was worried where I have so many plants out here, and with all these plants and all this work I've done, I'm not risking it. So I went ahead and put an infrared Dr. heater out here and put it on, I think I set it on 55 or 60. And it kept it around 45 degrees in here overnight to keep these plants protected. I had it kind of facing them so it kept a little bit of warmth to the plants, because I did not want to have to bring all these in or, risk them getting any kind of frost damage out here. But for outside, whenever you get to the 32 degrees, upper 20s, you want to think about, do I need to protect my blooming fruit trees? So with a lot of fruit trees, when you get to the upper 20s, 30 to 32 degree range, you can have about a 10% loss of buds whenever they're starting to open or opening in those phases. So you have to make that decision. Do I want to cover those crops? I don't trust the weather. Sometimes the weather's off by like 5 degrees. Sometimes, especially where I live, and you know, you have mountainous areas. So I figured it'd be more safe if we get anything 33 degrees and lower. I feel more comfortable just going out there and throwing a sheet over them or something to protect them. If you get mid 20s, about to lose my voice, mid 20s and lower, then you're going to get a 90% loss of your buds. So me personally, like I said, if I see 33 degrees or lower, they're going to get covered just as precautionary measure. And you have to make sure that you have to get out in the morning and uncover those before the sun hits them, because that can cause damage itself too. So having said that, another thing too is a lot of big time fruit farmers, they might go out and do a technique if they know for sure that it's going to be frost or heavy frost at night. They'll go out there and take a water hose and hose down their trees, get them nice and wet, and every so many minutes they'll go out. I have to do more research on that. They'll go out and keep hosing those down so the trees are covered, and the blooms, the blossoms are covered in ice. Once it gets down to that 32-degree mark, they'll start icing over, and that supposedly keeps a layer of protection too over larger crops or larger fruit farmers. But another technique too is bubble wrap. So bubble wrap has that layer of air in between the two layers of plastic that can also be wrapped around trees to get them up a few degrees warmer. So those are some techniques that can be used. For me at this time, I like to keep my trees trimmed down. I've said it in previous videos. I prune them down. I want them down and low. I'm doing a espalier on my apple trees for that reason. So they're down and low, and the arms are stretched out where I can reach and throw a sheet over. I can hand pollinate them. I can do all these things if I keep them at a low height. So low and wide is my goal for that. But having said that, now we're going to talk about the things I'm getting ready to start, the seeds I'm getting ready to start, and do a little update of the stuff behind me. So since we are 6.5 weeks from last frost, I'm going to go ahead and put on wet paper towels in Ziploc bags. These, anything, the celosia or coxcombs, I love these flowers. They are so pretty if you put them in like a cut flower vase in the house, or you know, I leave most of mine outside. I love going out in the evenings and looking at my flowers. Love it, so pretty. But I do bring some in too, especially in the fall when everything's starting to get cooler. I might cut some and bring them in vases, but they're absolutely stunning. Chamomile. This is a medicinal herb that I'm going to be growing. We've all heard of chamomile tea, calming and relaxation and stress and all that. Feverfew. This is for headaches and fevers. So that's something for sickness. That's an herbal medicine. Thyme. Y'all, I don't know. I have to tell you a little bit about this thyme just from my experience this week. I had some dried thyme that I had bought in the store, and I did some research that helps with colds and sickness and bronchial type stuff. So my youngins have been sick a week and a half ago, and a couple days ago I kind of felt like I was getting that itchy feeling in the back of my throat. You know how you kind of feel like when you're getting ready to get sick the night before, you might have that irritation, like clearing your throat, just some kind of weird itchy feeling. And I felt like I was trying to come down sick. So I had a teaspoon of thyme, and within half an hour, that feeling went away. So I don't know if I was coming down sick or if it was maybe an allergy or what, but when I took this, within half an hour, my symptoms went away. The next morning, I kind of felt that feeling again. I took another teaspoon of this. You know, I sprinkled it on a dish of food, soup, anything like that. You can put it on Italian dishes, pizza, whatever, just be creative. And I felt better, and I haven't had any other symptoms since. So I'm thinking this stuff helps. So I'm definitely growing me some thyme. Forage, that's another one that's medicinal. Isn't that pretty? And I'd also started some mammoth basil. I can't remember if I discussed this at the last update or not, but I just started those too. I've already got those on the paper towels. And I found this mystery thing of seeds. I'm thinking it might be daisies. I'm not sure. I was harvesting stuff last year, a bunch of things, and I found this, and I have no idea what flowers I took it off of, but that's what they look like. So this is going to be a mystery flower that I'm going to grow. And the things that I'm going to be starting within a week after this stuff, and it's the last bit of stuff that I'm going to be growing besides beans, yard loan beans, and those I'm just going to direct sow in May. They're going to go directly out. I've done that every year, and I get a really good crop, really good harvest every year. I'm going to be doing some melons, another melon. These are little melons. One of these, I think this one, the vines only get 3 to 4 feet. That's the Minnesota midget. So they stay relatively short. So I could plant more Salem trellis, several of these, and they're only going to grow up an average of 3 to 4 feet and get fruits all up and down them. Peas, those are going to be started soon. And the peas might only be in here for a couple of weeks. Just, I'm going to let them get sprouted up big enough to transplant outside. They do okay in cool weather. Honey nut squash. You have to be careful with these squashes. I'm doing honey boat squash. That's something I've never had before. I heard it's really sweet, like the honey nut, so we'll be doing that. Tahitian melon squash, I'm going to be trying those. It kind of looks like the zucchini rampicanti that I grew last year, and my chickens love those. They fed them those all throughout the winter. We made cantaloupe breads. It was pretty, not cantaloupe breads, Lord have mercy. Zucchini breads, it was really good. Banana melon, I tried to grow these last year, and the squash bugs got them. So I'm putting a net over my vining plants this year. All these will be netted, and they'll be on, there'll be a ground cover. They'll come up from a hole in the ground, then I burn a hole in the weed fabric, and then I'm going to net over them because I'm trying my best to keep the squash bugs from getting to them. Cucumbers, those actually I might wait. I think I might wait in a couple of weeks for the cucumbers because it's a little too soon for those. But that is, I think, red curry. I'm going to probably be growing some more of the red curries that I got from, this is my seeds from the plants last year, but these are pretty good. I mean, I put them right up there with the honey nut squashes. Those are good. And I think I might grow a candy roaster. I just have the seeds from my harvest from last year, so that might be something I start too. But, and then last but not least is going to be the little yard long bean seeds that will go directly in the ground in May. So that will be the last round within the next week, but the ones I've previously mentioned will probably go ahead and get started on wet paper towels today. Okay, so let's look at what we got here. Now, some of this stuff I started a little later. Some I've had out for a while, like these have been out for a while. I'm hoping that the cooler night temperatures in here is just keeping them from growing as fast, and I'm hoping I'm having a lot of rooting action underneath. Things like these, since I have my first set of true leaves, you'll see your first set of leaves. Do not add anything to the plants at that point, but when they start getting their true leaves, which is these right here, the second set coming up, and you'll see some, like right here, this is a tomato. These are the first initial leaves that comes out, the lighter color, and that's the leaves that gives that plant food, enough food and survival to get these true leaves coming out, the first set. So probably in the next week or so, when everybody's got their true leaves, first set of true leaves, I will start giving them a week fertilizer. Just don't do it before then. And these little guys, yarrows, are so tiny. Look at that. Those are little itty bitties, but they're getting starting to get their first set of true leaves. let's see, probably in the next week or two, I'll be putting out lettuce and the broccoli, and let's see, cauliflower will go out. In the next couple of weeks, I'll start thinking about when I'm going to put out the sweet peas. They'll be getting bigger and they can tolerate cold. So that's all these babies. They're getting pretty big. Y'all look here at my strawberries. And I just go in and tickle the flowers to try to pollinate them and see if I get any pollination. Since there's no bees out yet right now, you gotta use your own hands to pollinate things. And then, ooh, these are popping up. This is moonflowers. Those are kind of big. They look pretty cool, I think. And also I harvested some, y'all, let me tell you about this. Well, first of all, this is dandelions and nettle. And I'm drying these out to make a salve, a moisturizing and a salve, then also a salve that will help with inflammation. You just dehydrate this stuff, and once it gets dehydrated, you soak it in an oil for about a month, and then you heat up 1 ounce of beeswax and per 1 cup of the strained oil from this after it's been soaking in that oil for a month, and that's how you make the salve. But you got to heat all that up and mix it together. But this right here, y'all, let me tell you, I got some kind of critter. I had dug up, I walked up and down my holler, dug up a few of these mullein plants to plant in my yard so the road department don't come and mow them down this year, because they were pretty close to the road. So I brought them in, I dug them up, put them in a spot in the front yard, and hold on, let me turn this around. I had dug those up and put them in the front part of my yard, and the next day I had one of them, the biggest one, something popped it out of the ground. It was laying there drying out, looked sick. So there was a hole by the ground, and to me, I thought that's either a ground squirrel, it could be a rat hole, it could be moles or voles, it could be any of those things. So I put some Movo repellent all over the yard. I got out that morning and just put it everywhere to make the yard not appealing to them, and hopefully they would go somewhere else. But a couple days later, a second one got dug up. So at that point, and I brought that and tried to transplant in the yard, and I hope it survives. But I ripped off some of the leaves there that had already died, and I'm letting those dry out, because you can make a healing salve from that. Or you can also dry that out, the mullein leaves, and if you're sick and you have like a bronchitis, you can take those leaves and burn it and inhale it to clear out your bronchioles, to help breathing if you're sick. But anyways, I set my camera out there to see if I can catch it and see what kind of critter it was. My camera was out there for like a week, and all I saw was a little bird picking up stuff, I guess, to make a nest somewhere. And I saw a couple of my chickens, old Cheeks and old Lucy, out there scratching around. So I don't know if maybe one of them did it, but there definitely was a hole in the ground, and I never saw the critter. So maybe if it was a mole or vo, it didn't like the Movo repellent I put out there and left. I don't know. But anyways, let's go out here and look at our trees and do a little bit of hand pollinating and check on our chicken friends. You know, this tree, before we get there to that one, it's getting ready to have a massive blooming. And we've got our little hammocks stationed underneath. Let's look at this plant that I dug up. This is the mullein plant that I tried to save. And that leaf right there is already gone. So I'll probably go ahead and take that one and this one. And hopefully the plant survives. I don't know how long it was laying out there before I found it. But that's a mullein plant. And these leaves are very medicinal. So we'll come back out and grab these leaves right here that's already gone and bring those in and dehydrate them so they'll be dried out and ready in case somebody gets any kind of bronchitis or anything like that. And I'm keeping it covered from the chickens for now. Our chickens will not be allowed to come out whenever I get everything planted, because they tear everything up. Oh my goodness. My kale is trying to go to seed. We're gonna pinch that off and not let that happen. That's weird. See that? Can't let that happen. This is stuff I planted last year. This is a Brussels sprout. Biscuit, hush. There's some cabbage heads right there trying to form. Right there's one right there. Okay. Now, oop, passed up the tree. So this is one of the peach trees. We're just going to go through and take my hand and try to self-pollinate because we don't have enough bees yet. We don't have any bees that I've seen. So I'm just going and touching all the flowers like that to try to pollinate them. I've done that with this one. Hopefully, see how it looks different. Hopefully it will form fruit. And hopefully I can keep it saved with the frost. We have another frost tonight that I have to come out here and cover these with sheets again and hope for the best. But this is how you hand pollinate peach trees and plum trees. And I do this back and forth between trees when the apples start blooming. I'll go from tree to tree. This is one of the plum trees. I do the same thing. I use a different finger because this one has the pollen from the peach tree, and just go and tickle all the flowers. Chickens over there fighting. Hear them screaming. They're vicious little bees. And this right here is where I'm going to start burning holes in the fabric to put some of the co-crops in, like the broccoli and cabbage and cauliflower and things like that will go up here. What are y'all doing? Huh? What? Has anybody laid any eggs? And I think for the front yard here, what I'm going to do is, see how that's tarped there? I had a big flower bed there, but I was trying to figure out the vining stuff, and I'm thinking that this is where I'm going to put a tarp because this is rocky and it's got the roots of this big tree, so I'm probably not going to have much progress putting stuff in the ground right here. But from that tarp on this end, I can plant like my squashes, my squash vines and melons and things like that. Put a tarp down all the way over here to keep critters from crawling up because this is cicada year too. But also with the squash bugs and things like that. And I will train those plants to come up from right here, the good ground, the good soil, and let them grow this way. And then I'll cover them with a protective cloth, insect cloth. I'm also going to completely fill this with flowers. I hope I'm getting all this. So that's going to be the flower bed right here and on that side. And this is where I put that itchy kiki tree. Hopefully it does good. Fingers crossed. And there'll be more flowers here. And all through here. I've got to figure out, this is a climbing rose, so to make it flower along the vines, it has to be, tilted and curved. It cannot be straight up, or you'll only get flowers at the tip. So I need to come out here and probably put a hook there and maybe up a little bit from it and train this vine to go over and up and back and forth. So I'll have roses along the side here. Okay, I think that's the main things for now. It's not too much of an update, but Some of these strawberry plants that I got at Lowe's aren't waking up yet. I'm a little concerned, but we'll see what happens. I've got more coming from, I think it's Burpees that I ordered those from. Where's my plants at? These are the little baby mulleins that I'm starting from seeds. But looks like some kind of critter ate little one over there. I did want to show from Gurney's. I got the Carmine Jewel, and this is a cherry bush. So that's how big they are if you ordered one from there. And I ordered a second one from there. It's on its way here. And also show that I have these dragon fruits that I ordered off Etsy. You don't grow dragon fruits typically in this area, but I'm trying to grow them in my zone indoors during the winter and bring them outside during the summer months. But the fruit is amazing. I have 27 different varieties, and you just let it grow tall enough to where it falls over, and the parts of this that fall over forms these big fruits, and they're super sweet. It's not like the ones you get in your grocery store. Those are picked too early, and they are plain and bland. The yellow ones, the pitaya, that's what this one is. Those are super sweet, and I have a bunch of red varieties, red on the inside varieties that are super sweet. But that's something new that I'm adding this year. And our little trees from Logie's, this is 2 persimmon trees. They're starting to get some green on the end, so the leaves are starting to leaf out on both of those little trees. But I think that's it for now. And here's the two little trees that, no, it wasn't two, it was the 3 peach trees that I pruned around February. I took a couple of sticks from those that I cut off those trees, stuck them in this pot and soil, and they're leafing out. So I'm hoping those will root, and I'll have more peach trees that I took basically from cuttings. And I just stuck them in the dirt and watered them, and that's pretty much it. So that's a little experiment to see if those 7 little cut stems will grow their own roots. All right, that's the update for now. Hopefully the next time I'll have everything put in Ziploc bags on wet paper towels and the seeds all started and ready to rock and roll with getting some of the co-crops out, and that will be a bigger video because that's going to be a massive job getting those out. But that's the update for now. Y'all are crazy, I'm telling you. I don't know what's wrong with them. I give you fresh water every stinking day, and you go right in that water bowl and proceed to stand and poop in it. Look at you. Go on, homie. There goes Peggy Sue. See if we got any presents today. If y'all wondering what this is golf balls that keeps them from pecking eggs. If they try to bust open an egg, they'll think that's an egg and peck it, and it hurts their beak, or I don't know, maybe it's a weird vibration, but keeps them from pecking their eggs open and eating them. Hello, ladies. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in about another week.